So I will turn it to Senator Cassidy.
And I'll defer to Senator Mullins.
Thank you, and thank you, Chairwoman. I just want to actually commend everybody for actually having a good conversation here. I expected this to actually be pretty rambunctious, and so for that, I'm probably going to leave a lot of my questions out because I really did. I came here to be punchy. And instead, I think it's important that I share a story, and then I do have a couple questions too, because I do appreciate everybody's opinion, and that's what this is about having a conversation. And I think put in a context of why I'm so pro-life may help a little bit of the understand our positions, right? I've been married for 27 years. I got married when I was 19. My wife was 18. First question my father-in-law asked me when I asked to marry my wife, Christy, is she pregnant? And I was like, no. I don't think so. And it's 7 years later, we were still trying to have kids. And my wife had endometriosis, and it took a long time to have kids. We went through everything you can think of, in vitro, through shots, through, you can imagine. And then she got pregnant, and that was my Christmas gift one year. I got it out of my stocking. It was quite an exciting time. And we went through the pregnancy, we went to the first doctor visit, and how excited it was. And then we went later on, and we heard the heartbeat the first time. And I'm going to tell you, that was a child to me. I mean, I was so excited. We were thinking of names. We were going through the whole process. And man, I can't tell you the excitement I heard. I'm not even a crier at that time. Now I talk about my kids, I cry all the time. But I remember getting emotional for the first time. And I was thinking, what is this inside of me? A tear about ready to drop out of my eyes. But then while through the pregnancy, she went back in and she had a miscarriage. That was a death to us, 100% death to us. So no one will say that wasn't a death to us. That was a death. That was a child when I heard the heartbeat, and it was a death when we didn't hear the heartbeat. And it was extremely difficult for my wife and I. Fortunately, literally the month that child was due to be born, we found out we were pregnant again. And his name's Jim Martin Mullin, named after my dad. 15 months later, we had another one, because people that tell you can't get pregnant when breastfeeding, lies, because you can. And his name's Andrew Daniel Mullin. 3 years later, after the doctor said she couldn't get pregnant anymore and she was going to have a hysterectomy, we had another one, and her name is Lara. She's 15, Lara Dale Mullin, and Lord, she's 15, and love her to death. And then my wife and I decided we wasn't going to have kids anymore. And I got a vasectomy, and she got an ablation. And yet we still collected 3 more kids. Because there was 3 kids that deserved a home and 2 mothers that loved those children so much. Instead of aborting them, they were brave enough to carry them and gave Christy and I an opportunity to love these 3 wonderful kids. 2 twins named Ivy and Lynette that we'd adopted when they were 2 years old, and now they're 13. And Jace, who is wrestling at Oklahoma State as we speak. I was in Ohio with him this week, and his mother was just barely 20 years old, and the twins' mother was 15 when she got pregnant. And I thank God every day, literally every day, that those mothers gave Christy and I an opportunity to be blessed and be loved by these 3 kids. And so there's options. What's sad is when you look at statistically speaking is that over 50% of the pregnancies inside the United States is unplanned. But 50% of all pregnancies also end in abortion. That's sad. I mean, you're lucky to be born right now. And inside DC is 51.5% of all pregnancies. Meaning we end more pregnancies here in Washington, D.C. than we actually have. Something's wrong. Abortion has become almost a point of convenience. While we understand it's unplanned, we get that, but that child deserves an opportunity to be in a loving home just like my 3 kids are. I tell everybody we had 3 we got stuck with and 3 we chose. Which ones do you think we love the most? I'm blessed. Christy and I are blessed. But we got to talk about the reality here. And we're not talking about rape and incest and high-risk births. Those account for less than 9.5% of all births out there. 8% are high risk. 1% are rape. Less than 0.5% are from incest. We're not talking about those abortions. We're talking about others. Guys, we can do better as a country, and that's what this conversation is about. We have to talk about it. Just give these kids an opportunity to live. They'll bless somebody, because our kids bless us every single day. That I yield back.